Okay, welcome back to another Vintage League here. Today we are trying the combo of Voice of Victory plus Pattern of Rebirth. So the idea here is Voice of Victory. I played a couple leagues of this on the channel. One of the new Tarkir Dragonstorm cards. It got a very powerful effect on it. Your opponents can't cast spells during your turn. That's useful here. That protects our combo. But that's not how our combo works here. What we're actually interested in is the mobilize part. So when Voice of Victory attacks, you make 2 tapped 1/1 red, tokens. And this is the important part. You sacrifice them at the beginning of your next end step. Pattern of Rebirth says, remember the sacrifice bit, when an enchanted creature dies, that creature's controller searches their library for a creature card and put that into the battlefield and shuffle. So it's sort of like a natural order, but doesn't have to be green. You can get any color creature. You can get Emrakul with this, whatever. So the idea is we swing with the Voice of Victory. We make 2 tokens. We put the pattern on one of the tokens. Our opponent can't respond to anything because of the Voice of Victory ability. Your opponent can't cast spells during your turn. End of your turn, the token with the pattern on it dies, which triggers pattern. And then we can go and grab ourselves an Atraxa or an Archon of Cruelty, or potentially in some scenarios maybe something else like a Grief, who knows. But, yeah, that is the idea. Now, in order to support that, we've got this 4-color deck. Now, it doesn't really have to be 4-color, but I wanted to play these cards here we'll get to in a second. You could just play this green, white, black, and that probably fixes improves some of the mana base here for sure. But Caesar's another fun card I want to play. We'll get to that in a second. But I guess before we get there, so we covered these cards. We've got Grief, Reanimate as, that package for disruption there. This is vintage. And we're playing a combo that's fairly high in mana. Now, the nice thing is Voice of Victory does protect the whole combo, but we also have to not die. So we're going to play Grief to strip our opponent's hands, Reanimate to bring the Grief back, of course. We can also Reanimate Trolls. Now we'll get to Caesar. Okay. So, Caesar, you might not know this one. This is a Fallout card, but it has some nice sack abilities. So one, if we don't have a Voice of Victory in play, we still need to be able to put this on a creature and sack it, right? And Caesar has a very nice sack outlet here. That also works with the Ajani, because it's red. So this says, whenever you attack, you may sacrifice another creature. When you do, choose 2. You can make 2 1/1s, red and white soldiers with haste, attack and attacking, draw a card and lose 1 life. Or Caesar deals damage equal to the number of creature tokens you control to target opponent. So you can sack, the Voice of Victory tokens. Or another fun one here is you can sacrifice the cat for Ajani to flip Ajani. Caesar is red. So you get the 2 abilities off Caesar, you get to flip Ajani and use the abilities. That's a really cool interaction there. This is a deck I've wanted to play for a while, I just haven't gotten around to it. So I'm just kind of shoehorning this interaction here, but I quite like this one, the Ajani plus Caesar interaction. So we got the Caesar tokens and then the Voice of Victory tokens to sack the Caesar, which is cool. And then after you sack 1 creature, it can make its own tokens to keep going. We've also got Skullclamp, which is great both with the Voice of Victory tokens. Your opponent can't respond to it. You can't get surprise Bowmaster or anything. Because they can't cast spells on your turn, you just get to draw the cards off the Skullclamp. Same thing with the Ajani. You use Skullclamp to blow up the little cat Ajani makes to flip Ajani, which is pretty cool. So we've got all those interactions going on here in our protection spells. We've got Voidmere and Vexing Bauble as more protection here. I think Vexing Bauble is obviously extremely strong and restricted. But I think Voidmere is underplayed in Vintage. I think this card is actually quite good. And I talked about this before, but I think Vexing Bauble being restricted really makes Voidmere a lot better. Because any scenario where you've got one Vexing Bauble and one Void Mirror in play, you can just crack the Vexing Bauble, whether you drew it first, whether you drew it second. So sometimes I've seen me play decks with 2 Void Mirrors and a Vexing Bauble, so that whenever you got a scenario where you find 2 of these, you just resolve both and then you crack the Bauble and you're good to go. It's kind of like, it just vastly improves the Void Mirror, which is nice. You're very unlikely with running 2 or 3 Void Mirrors in one Bauble. You have that effect a lot. You're just unlikely to keep drawing these and lose out to other stuff. 2 Assassin's Trophies to deal with whatever comes our way. Demonic Tutor, of course. We're in black. 4 Deathrite Shamans. We're a 4-color deck here with 4 drops, so yes. These are both 4 drops. Flamewar, not look at the Flamewar in a second, but we're a 4-color deck with 4 drops. We want our mana ramp and color fixing here. Soul Ring, obviously. Bauble we just covered. Reanimate for the Griefs and Trolls, and it can also just bring back other stuff if we need to. Our fast mana. Then we've got a 4-color mana base here, so nothing fancy, just the lands, and then one Urza Saga, which can grab stuff, make tokens. And then lastly, we'll cover Flamewar. So this is a card I think is actually quite good. I think Orcish, I did play with this a lot, but Orcish Bowmaster kind of hurts it a bit. But Bowmaster's not everywhere, and this is a nice discard outlet and card advantage engine. So normally you're going to play it for 2 mana, a red and a black, for it's more than meets the eye cost. So it comes in as the card on the right here, it flipped. So you're usually going to play this for 2. Then you got Menace, Dead, and Death Touch. As a creature on your turn, and when it deals combat damage, your player exile that many cards, put intel counters on them. Then you flip it, and then you have the option of discarding your hand and putting the cards from the intel into your hand. Now you don't have to do that. You can just sack an artifact, flip it. The motorcycle now has a counter on it, so it's a 3/2. You can swing again, get 3 more intel counters. Now you've got, if you attack twice, you've got 5 cards in exile. And after it flips, you can put all 5 of those into your hand. So it gets, a lot of card advantage very quickly. It's a nice discard outlet if you got one of these in your hand as the only card and just want to get rid of it. You get to swap it for, 2 to 5, potentially, 9. I've done 9 before cards in your hand. Got to reanimate. So that's a strong one. It's also red for the Ajani ability. That matters with red. And that's the main deck here. We've got a bunch of synergies, so some cool stuff going on. But yeah, really just hoping to pull off this Voice of Victory pattern combo. That would be sweet. Like turn 1, Mox, Voice of Victory, turn 2. You could do turn, with 2 Moxes or a Mox and a Soul Ring, you could do that combo on turn 2, but more realistically, it's like a turn 3 combo. Like turn 1, Voice of Victory, turn 2, something, and then turn 3, swing, play pattern, get your creature. Yeah, we'll see. It'd be fun to do some Caesar stuff too. If you're still here, we'll cover sideboard next, but throw a like and a subscribe. That's really appreciated. Want to grow the channel a little bit. Any comments, put them down below. Any ideas to improve the deck or ideas throughout the league, let me know. Sideboard's some pretty standard stuff. We've got Graveyard Hate. It also goes for Oath. Thoughtseize for some of the combo matchups, Swords for some of the creature matchups, and Prismatic Endings for a mix of Oath and some of the creature decks. Alright, let's get into the league. Okay, we're on the play here. Oh, I got a compliment. Cool. So we're keeping it. Just not sure how to sequence it. So we can go turn 1, Mana Crypt. So if we start with Mana Crypt, we can get countered. So I am tempted to Grief first. We need the black mana source. So I think the Grief target would actually be Demonic Tutor. Play Crypt, cycle, get Troll. Play Scrubland kind of thing. But maybe like pitching Demonic Tutor here does like seem I think we're just gonna start with this. All right. See what they got over there. Oh boy. Force of, oh boy. That's not the hand we wanted to see. Force of Will, Force of Negation, Psychic Frog, Psychic Frog. Okay. Part of me wants to take Force of Will and then play Voice of Victory. They counter this, we're in a lot of trouble. Yeah. That's a problem. Ooh. What did they pitch? Frog. So no Lurrus. Force of Will, Force of Negation, Psychic Frog. And we're probably dead here then. Mox would be a good draw. Yeah, they're just gonna play their Shaman. Oh, they drew a Sapphire, so that's bad for us. Alright, well we got our land. Okay. Do not love this spot. We're still obviously pretty unfavored here. Play their land, they buy Lurrus, draw a card with their frog. So if we block this, we prevent them from drawing a card, and then they have to pitch both of them if they want to keep this around, so I'm going to do it. Get black, green, and then we will go to their turn. Can't do anything. Okay. You get the draw. That's bad for us. Anyone keeping track at home there. Little cycle. Badlands. Crap. Okay. I think we have to get this one down. They can just jump the frog, though. They're not really stopping them at all here. So, yeah, it's fine. We really need to draw our trophy, where we're literally just dead. Does that do anything? So I think we're dead here, but they have to discard something. We'll see one more card. They're obviously on Bug Lurrus though, so roughly we know what's in the list. You hit pretty hard this game by the double interaction there. Yeah, they just pitch a card. And we lose. Yep. Okay. That did not go as planned. Alright, so don't want all three of these. Skullclamp's a bit suspect against the Orc deck. Don't some of them. I think we can trim one pattern. Try and bring our curve down here. Bring in more swords. Actually, I think I like the Void Mirror over on the play. On the play, I think I want all the Void Mirrors. Try and turn it on, jam it on turn one. Yeah, I think the patterns are okay. I do have Wasteland, which is kind of was looking at the curve here, but we do have to go over the top. Let's give this a whirl. Could be convinced that there are better sideboarding plans for the deck I just made and don't really have a sideboard plan for it, but I guess so. We'll pitch our Atraxa. So they've got Psychic Frog, Orc here. Let's take... I want a Psychic Frog. Where's Psychic Frog? Two. I think I do want everything. I think we just have like a big turn. We blow all of our mana here. Just try and draw cards from this. Oh boy. I think the Orc's a little scary. Shaman's scary too, I guess. I think we're just going to try and clock them, so I'll take this. Underground Sea, yep. Deathrite Shaman, yep. I don't really want to give them mana. I think that feels like a mistake. So right now they don't have a another land for the Deathrite Shaman in the graveyard here. If we fetch, we'll give them one. I don't love that. Got the Wasteland. It's pretty good. That's a great draw. What to do here? We can reanimate stuff. We can play the Deathrite Shaman. I think those are the good options. They find a land, any mana source, they can play the stock up. I kind of want to prevent that. They do have the Wasteland, so they can play the stock up. So we'll take the stock up. They can double Wasteland us to play the frog. Or they can just do that, that's fine. It's not really what we wanted. I think we have to try and keep them low on mana here. They've got Psychic Frog, Lurrus, Unknown. Yeah, they're just gonna double Wasteland us here. I think we just want one we don't want because they're probably going to get hit by Wasteland again. They want their Lurrus. That's fun. Yep. Okay. So if they don't, actually, can we just win here? Because we could hit them for 2, that brings them to 9. 3 is 6, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? I think we can fly our frog and then win because they're tapped out. I think 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And they have a Psychic Frog in hand. They can't block the Grief. They can't block the Frog if it flies. I think this just wins. Alright, so we got that one. I don't love Voidmere as much on the draw. So we'll take one of these out. Maybe even 2 of them. Put one more Voice of Victory in. Bring in a Prismatic Ending. Might bring in Cage. Maybe not. You have a lot of wastelands. I want to bring the curve down a little bit here. More Prismatic Ending. Just play a ton of removal, I guess. How does this look, folks? Give it a whirl. Alright, they're on 7. We've got a hand that's pretty insulated against Wasteland, but otherwise is not very good. But we're on the draw. I think we keep it, but I don't love it. I do want really badly to draw a turn 1 play here. We can just F6 then. Maybe I should have mulled to something more aggressive. I kind of like the lands against the Wasteland deck, and with the Crypt we can play stuff as soon as turn 2, potentially earlier if we draw something decent. So, but I think we're just going to lose to a turn 1 frog here. Oh, Deathrite Shaman's scary too. Not sure why I played the Crypt out, that was dumb. We're just gonna take damage for no reason then. That's bad for us. That is quite bad for us. I think any game where we're trying to play more mid-range and our opponent got Force of Will, that's going to be not great. Okay. This one's protection from white. And when they discard, it gets bigger. When we discard, it gets bigger. Yeah, so we should not have played this app, but oh well. Alright, we're getting punished. See if this gets a force. No. Abrupt Decay, Flusterstorm, instant or sorcery spell. Destroy target creature if it's white. Okay, we'll take the Soul Rend. Okay. Trop. They have one black. I guess they have two for the. They got two because of the shaman for Lurrus. They can abrupt decay stuff if they want to. Interesting. What you want to do? You want to buy a Lurrus? You want to abrupt decay something? Crap. Oh, we don't have a red-green land in our deck, I just realized. Red, black, white, colorless. I think we want to draw the cards. But maybe we just want to... The tokens can get hit by Abrupt Decay in response. Right now we can just kind of pass the turn. On our turn, just play the pattern. So this would kill both of them, right? Yeah, so I think we just attack with this one. I don't want to. I'm just going to swing normally. Yeah, if they want to trade with both, that's fine. They can ping us for 2 here. Yep. Wasteland. We got our white source. They got Lurrus. Maybe they got a Force of Will or Force of Negation in hand. That would be bad for us. That's good. Bayou. Think. Yeah, so it has to go on this guy. See if they got a Force at Will or Force of Negation here. No. we got our trigger. Yes. This one. Create. I think this one. And then we get our trigger. Oh, we're only on 4 minutes. Okay, we're playing too slow. Atraxa. We'll get oh boy, let's get a land in instant, and we got there. Okay. Very close match there, and I played a little slow, but good games. Yeah, GG's for sure. Alright, off to the next one. Okay, we've got another Lurrus matchup here. Is this a keep? I think so. It's close. Quite a few cards that make this quite good. White Bauble, sure. It does stop us a little bit. Okay. Frog. Yep. You got it. That's a problem. That is a problem. Nope, you can't take that one. A lot of 4-drop stuck in our hand. That is not really where you want to be. Turn 1 Vexing Bauble, turn 2 Frog on the play. Real good start. Okay. You don't know this one, you missed the intro. What deals Menace, Death Touch, Living Metal, so it's a creature in our turn. What deals combat damage to play exile that many cards. Help right cast stamp until counter on them. And then you flip it, and it's on the flip side you can put them into your hand. So it's a big fancy draw engine. If it connects here. I guess they are looking it up. Okay. Vexing Bauble strikes again. Use like a soul ring. What are they doing? Why don't they just crack their bauble? We're gonna lose. Still, it doesn't matter. We're still going to lose. It's very sad. Okay. We'll swing here. It's getting blown out. Okay. I think we throw this into the bauble, it gets countered. Or maybe we should just brought back the Flamewar. Yeah, maybe this was just dumb. Maybe I should have brought back the Flamewar. I don't have any artifacts to sack for it. Yeah. I think we're just dead anyway. Frog's really good. You get Frog going, you win games. What do you got? Alright. Good chat. Okay, can't block that. And between the Vexing Bauble and the Wasteland, we are behind here on the mana front. Yeah, we have a 4-drop stuck in our hand here. Oh, well, that may have freed up our guy. Ah, shit. Great. Alright, they're gonna fly it again. That's fine. Okay. Okay. I don't know. We're dead. I think we could probably just pick it up here, but oof. Okay. Yeah. We have no real sequence here that gets us out of that. Okay. So, we don't want to play against Lurrus control, but we have to again. Our deck is a bit top heavy for the Wasteland Strip Mine deck. Let's see. I like the Void Mirror on the play. Like, I like Voice of Victory in the matchup. It's actually... Ooh. The Orcish Bowmasters makes this plan not amazing. The Orcs make this not great either. I think this is okay. Let's give this a try. Maybe having, I think taking the Archon out might be too risky. It feels like, obviously, a very real, shit. It's got a lot of upside, doesn't it? But it is real soft to a lot of stuff as well. Oh boy. This feels like a trap, right? I'm going to try and get lucky, though. I think we do have to get lucky in this matchup. If they force this and Wasteland us, we do just lose on the spot, though. If that does not happen, we get to play Magic. And if we draw a mana source, we are actually in... Fuck. Now they know that we have no mana. That is not good for us. They know all of our secrets. I might be reading a card or two, I guess. Having on coloring auction for turn 1. Take it. Bayou. Let's try and start getting cards down. Wait. Do they want to force ajani? Nope. That's all we can do. I had to push on the stack. I see. Soul Guide Lantern, sure. Mm-hmm. Swing first. They're representing Orcish Bowmasters, so we're just going to play the Skullclamp. Okay, they are no longer representing Orcish Bowmasters, which is interesting. So I think we just clamp then. Pretty good. Yeah, I guess we just pass here. There's probably a case to eat something from their graveyard because they're on 7. They bought Lurrus, sure. I think we just want to get their Lurrus out of their hand, and we can figure out what to do. Alright, that does get a force. Pitching Lorien. So I think we do just get in here then. Alright, that lets them keep open the Caracas and play the Lurrus. Or they can go for something fancy. They went for something fancy, okay. So this is where not having the Archon's a bit of a problem. Alright, I'm going to try and shut down Force of Will. Do we just reanimate the Grief? Or the Troll, maybe? Maybe it's just the Troll. They could counter this, like, hard cast. Maybe just reanimate, right? I'm not sure how they can kill a troll. Next turn they play Lurrus, we swing for 6. Kinda like this. Just getting rid of the Lurrus is nice too. And then we have a combo. This feels like playing it overly safe, but we're gonna play it overly safe, I guess. It didn't matter. They got a combo. They have a something. Surgical extraction. Alright. You got it. They have an orc too. Okay. Not ideal for us. And I think the soul... Ah, fuck. That's bad. Well, there you go, Lurrus. Okay. Oh, we immediately punished for our decision there. Alright, I don't know how we win this now. I think we have to get Atraxa, which means we have to blow up the Caracas, otherwise Atraxa doesn't do anything. I guess we get a troll. Yeah. Ugh. This is not great. I think we're just dead. I think this is the potential avenue to victory here. But if they know that they can stop this with the, what's it called again, the Soul Guide, then we lose. Yep. Mm-hmm. Gonna F6 here. They actually have hard cast Force of Will up now. I think we do know they have a Force of Will, right? I actually forget. Can't actually, even if we wanted to, kill our Deathrite Shaman here, so we just gotta pass. We are, that Caracas is a problem for us. With the Archon in the deck, it would have been less of a problem. We could have just tried to blow up our, we could have used the trophy right away to blow up our Shaman. Let's try this. They just let it go. Really hoping they were going to bounce that. I guess that means they have a swords. Oh, there's a cage in play. I wasn't even paying attention. Alright, well, we're done. Alright, scoop. Wasn't even paying attention. Alright, next game. Alright, here we go again. I think it's good enough. Because we have turn 1 Grief Reanimate. We have Shaman. But looks like they're probably on Dredge. I mean, it doesn't matter. We just die. Alright. We're up against, what, Dredge or Countervine here? Or maybe Mono White Initiative on a rough mulligan. You're not just slamming a Bazaar, so I'm guessing it's not Dredge, actually, just a deck on a tough mulligan. Oh, fuck. Okay. That was a pain. Ugh. So... Jeez. It could still be Mono White Initiative. I think we pitch cast this for starters. And It gets countered. We knew that. See what they're working with over there. Yeah, it's mono white initiative. Archon of Emeria and Boromir. We're gonna take their white mana source. And see what they do. If we draw a white land here, that's really good. Ah, fuck! Okay. Alright, fine. Yeah. That was definitely the worst possible scenario for us there. Ooh. Now they've got a Boromir. Sure. I mean, we swing, obviously. These patterns are not looking good for us. I don't think we have the mana to support them, apparently. Bayou. White. Okay, well, you can't do that. Yep. Sure. Let's see what they want to do. They don't want to take... Okay, interesting. If they use their tomb and they can't... Yeah, so... They want to use their tomb. We could hit them for 2. So, they were in a tough spot there. Alright, so we want our swords. Definitely want to cut down on our chunky stuff here. I am going to leave in the Atraxa because it's kind of a get out of jail card that we can play. Oh, the voices are terrible here. The Void Mirrors are also bad on the draw, so I think this is actually going to get rejiggered here. We want the Prismatic Endings. I think this is actually coming back in. So we're gonna... all of our cards are really bad here. The Void Mirrors we can bring back in on the play. On the draw, though, I don't think we want them. Leyline of the Void, Voice of Victory, Cage, Caesar. Thought Seize does do some stuff. I think that's okay. Yeah, I think on the draw where it's a, this is a tough matchup on the draw here. It's probably a case to take out the Bauble for another Seize even. Yeah, do that. The cards are just really bad on the draw. On the play, they're not bad, so we can do some different stuff on the play. I think we try and cheese them with a pattern win. Yep. That's bad for us. That is bad for a Z home team here. Oh boy. Could use a swords. That is bad for us too. Yeah, we're done. Okay. Okay. Good chat. We'll play another round, I guess, but it's... don't see any scenario where we win this. Yeah. If we draw swords, there might be some play, potentially. And they've just got, like, nothing. They do have nothing, so... Swords? Okay. So we can swords Archon. We have to do that, or else we can't do anything else. If we grief them, they trap, they hit us, we go to 0. So I think what we have to do... I think it's very annoying. I think we have to I think we have to blow this up. We probably should have done it on their turn. I'm not sure why I just randomly. We take 5 here. That's bad. Alright, we have to draw a black source now. Because they get down to here, we die. Can't cast that, so we're still dead. That's frustrating. I guess we can draw exactly a Reanimate. Let's see what's in their hand. I probably should have waited on this too. Not sure why I'm playing like I am. Swords. Okay. Now this is over. We need exactly Reanimate here. Oh, they've got something. Reanimate won't even do it. Dragon. And we did. Okay, try this again. So on the play, I do want the Void Mirrors. Caesar can go. Archon can go. A Thoughtseize can go. Oops. Flamewar is kind of slow. Oh yeah, we want the Bauble for sure. What am I doing? Yeah, I don't love the Flamewar here. It's more just about jamming stuff and quickly. This can take the initiative back. That is something. It's black. Do we want 1 Caesars? Caesar or Flamewar? Maybe it is Caesar. Okay. I mean, we keep it, but it's not really what we want. Just go Chancellor here, we lose. Yeah, I haven't revealed a Chancellor yet, which was interesting. We want like land, seasoned Dungeoneer. It's kind of the dream scenario here. Are they considering solituding it? They are. Okay. Swords to Plowshares, Chrome Mox, and then nothing. Take the swords, I guess. Yep. Can we get something? No. No, not that. Something else. Okay. Okay. Don't think we want to use that yet. Okay. We will use it on the Pearl then if they just don't play anything and just play out the Pearl. Can we find a creature, please? I would like a creature. Mox Jet. Okay. Maybe I should have just reanimated this Solitude a long time ago, but it feels wrong. Does not feel like the best play here. Chrome Mox, yep. Putting Clarion Conqueror on the bottom. Alright. They have a swords, I guess. This is embarrassing. White Archon, sure. What else you got there? They have a crypt in their hand, and we don't know what else. So swing for 3. Yeah. Can't do anything about that. So they got a crypt in their hand. We don't have a creature that can just sack itself. Um, I don't know what to get here. We don't have blue mana. We can't actually hard cast Atraxa. We got 3, 4. If we got 7 mana, we have no blue. If we had a Deathrite Shaman, we could. Maybe it is just Grief. What could be in their hand? Maybe it's just Grief. Leyline of the Void, Mana Crypt sword. So yeah, we'll take the swords. Okay. What do they got? White, blue. Sure. Don't think this matters because they already have a white source. I think we just take it. They've got scarier stuff. Strip line. Fine. We know what's in their hand. And stop them from attacking here. Okay, they got another season dungeon here. That's fine. Oh, it's the it's the pattern. Not fine. I think we do have to swords one of these, because then we can get in. But to make that decision right now, I guess. This is not helpful. We know what's in their hand. I think we got to push the damage in. And we got there. Probably slightly early. They had one more turn, but not looking good for them. Alright, good game there. Alright, here we go again. We're on the play. Um, so I don't think this. We could go turn 1 Grief Pitch Archon, and then we can at least play Soul Ring Skullclamp, which sets us up with a lot of good draws. We find a second black, we can hard cast Grief 2. We'll have mana to do stuff. Tons of draws would be good. But on the other hand, I am thinking it might just be slow. And we do need a better draw, so I think we are gonna mulligan it, but like I don't think it's the worst hand in the world either. Ooh, I like this hand. That's turn 1 Voice of Victory off of Emerald, Soul Ring, Voice. And we hope it doesn't get countered. So that means we could play a turn 2 pattern if it doesn't. Black, white. And let's see if that gets countered. Nope. So they might just have a turn 1 win here then. City. Patchwork shirt. Yep. I got more stuff. That's bad. I was okay with just the patchwork. All of this I'm not happy with. Oh jeez. That's a great start on that side of the table. They could play a sphere, a trinosphere here. Oh, that's brutal. Fuck. Ugh. That's like the worst possible situation for us there. Okay. Probably like the one of like interaction pieces. This Raker Shops like the one of interaction piece in that deck on turn 1 after the patchwork. So. Oh boy. Sure. We can't. The thing is, we can't kill the Karn even because of the stupid patchwork. If we only did Karn and they couldn't down ticket her, we just kill it with our Voice of Victory. So, oh well. We pass, I guess. Yep. Wonderful. Yeah, it's Raker Shops. They threw one stupid piece of interaction that was relevant in the amount of the cast at turn 1. That's very frustrating. I wanted my turn 2 protected pattern. It's not happening. I'm just gonna fucking cycle this now. Ugh. Sure, you got it. Can't even. Because if Karn do this thing. Just dead because we have the fucking jump block here. I'm not sure why we're still playing. We have to jump block this thing. I don't think we have any outs at that point. That was so brutal. I'm just gonna scoop. That was very frustrating. You know, Voice of Victory doesn't do anything. Bring in swords. Cut the curve down a little bit. Give this a try. We don't we don't have the second black card for grief, so I think this is just a nonsense hand. We don't need the Pearl. Well, I think it's the Pearl to try and slow them down a bit. I think there's a case for the Crawler too, and just try and draw removal. I don't know. Now we don't have anything to grab with the Reanimate, which feels like a mistake. Can't even grab Void Mirror because they have the Larian Academy, so Void Mirror won't do anything. Five mana. If we had one more, Caesar would be appealing. Looking at ajani, or maybe it is just Troll and just try and aggro them. It takes a lot of damage. Not sure about this one actually. Still annoyed about the first game. Scrolly crawly. Yeah. You got it. Can we get a removal spell, please? I didn't do any math there. Maybe that one life is relevant. We do have to win this crypt flip. We did. That's pretty good. In retros, I should have played this in case we drew an abrupt decay. Wasn't thinking about that. Okay. You have a crawler? No, they would have played the crawler first, right? 5 mana. Okay. They find the scrawling crawler, we die. They've probably found the sprawling crawler. The glaring flesh raker. Yeah, we just fucking die. Now to this stupid. Yeah. Combo. Yep. They just keep looping this, and with them on 2 life, we lose the game. What a match. All right. All right, next round here, we got a tough one. Oh boy, this is Montolia. Well, this hand is just nonsense. I think there might be a case to have a Dryad Arbor in the deck for both Skullclamp and Pattern of Rebirth reasons. Something to think about. I think this is just too slow. Okay. On 7, this is an amazing hand. On 5, less so. Much less so. Even on 6, this is a good hand. If they haven't revealed Lurrus, there's a good chance that means they're on like Dredge or something. If they're on mono white initiative, we could take a huge gamble here and just try and go Grief, pitch Archon, Lotus, reanimate Grief, reanimate their creature. I don't think we have any way of beating any of the bizarre decks here, so like Dredge counterbind, this hand's just going to lose, right? Against Shops, a turn 1 Troll could do something though, which is something. Montolia's range is very wide, though. It could be a lot of stuff. I think we're going to do the super all-in play. And just hope they're on mono white initiative. or something like that. So we can get 2 big creatures. Otherwise, I think we do just lose. Like, if they're on a bizarre strategy, we just lose automatically. Okay. We're not on mono white initiative, so I think that means we're dead. They got another counterspell. Grief. Got another counterspell. Mox Jet, Lorien swords. So we have to take the Lorien here and hope for the best. Right. Or do we just take the sword and hope for the best? I think we take the Lorien and hope for the best. I guess they're playing the True Hero deck that just did well. Yep. Yeah, there's no way we win this, but okay, yeah, that means they get a sword, so and they kept it on top. Maybe we should have just kept the swords and hope that they worked on other stuff. I don't know. Yep. I'm not sure why we're still playing this game. Okay. Yeah, they're playing the silly True Hero deck. We needed them to have this card in their opener. We could reanimate it. I think we trimmed down this package somewhat. I actually like the Archon quite a bit here. On the play, I think the Thought Seizes are fine. It's not amazing, but I think it's good enough. Mm-hmm. You got it. Oh, great. Lavinia, Force of Negation, Swords. They don't have white mana. I think we take the Lavinia and the Swords. One to flip. Now they have hard cast Force of Negation if they want it. We need a second mana to be able to cast this Grief, so we're not going to. They're going to get a Surveil land here. Card's on top, so they like the card, which is not good for the home team. What card do you like? Stock up? Yeah, that makes sense. And we got there. I think on the draw, I don't like the Void Mirrors quite as much. I think I want... Lavinias are annoying. The Swords removal is good against Pattern. They don't have orcs, so I think the Skullclamp actually is fine here. Give that a whirl. I don't know if they're playing Caracas or not, but I think that's a keep. Could really use a Moxen. Blue. Time Walk. Yep. Jet. They drew a Jet. Cycle for Lorien. White Plum. Ah, fuck. Sure. Moxon. We can go turn 1, Voice of Victory, and we can do this, I guess. Let's see if they counter this. They got a counter spell, we're in a lot of trouble. They want to force our Voice of Victory. I assume they do. Alright, and that's our turn. We can try and do the Pattern of Rebirth next turn, which is pretty fun. If they don't get a creature, then we're actually in decent shape here. Yeah, so they're probably going to remove the Voice with a removal spell, which is not good for us. What else you got? Blue. 1 blue. No recall. Ah, oh, snap time log. Oh, fuck you. Okay. Ah. Yeah. That's bad for the home team. Mm-hmm. Fine. I didn't want to win the game anyway. Yeah, that's terrible for us. Do we not even... Maybe trying to go that turn was greedy. Maybe I should have just blown up the white plume originally. Okay. Okay, you got it. Alright. Alright, so not a bad league. We started out strong and then didn't go great at the end there, but you know, pretty solid for, what we're trying to accomplish here, which obviously we know is not the strongest thing in Vintage, but it was fun. Started off strong with a win against Lurrus Deathrite Shaman Control. Then we got beat up pretty bad by Lurrus Control. We beat Mono White Initiative. We got pretty unlucky here against Raker Shops, so if you didn't watch this one, we had a turn 1 Voice of Victory and 2 Moxes, so we could do turn 2, or a Soul Ring and a Mox, so we could do turn 2, we had Pattern of Hand, we had turn 2 Pattern, which would have been sweet. Our opponent had turn 1 Creature and Karn at the same time. They needed both, because the Voice of Victory could have killed Karn on 3. But with the blocker and the Karn, they were able to win. The Karn stopping our Pattern from getting played, the creature stopping us from killing Karn if Karn down ticks. So that was a rough one in game 1. In game 2, we got him down to 2 and just didn't quite get there before they comboed out. Found it with a top look. I think that one could go either way. I felt a little unfortunate. And then the last one was Montolio on the blue-white initiative deck that True Hero was playing. That one, was reasonably close. We just didn't get there. Yeah, so overall, I think some of the control decks did beat us up a bit. I think just cut the red is what I would do. I love Caesar. Caesar was really fun in this matchup. If you go back to round 1, we managed to trigger Pattern by using Caesar to sack a Grief with the Pattern on it, which was pretty sweet to get Atraxa. So watch that match if you haven't. But I think to improve the deck, we need to lower the curve and help fix the mana, and that means cutting red. So we cut red. Then we've got 3 more spots to work with. I'm not sure exactly what they should be, but probably 3 cards in the lower end of the curve here. And then we can cut all the red lands. I think that makes us quite a bit more competitive. Probably another sack outlet then. Yeah, not sure at the top of my head what we should be, but I think some other sack outlet could be good. Got any ideas? Let me know down below. Cabal Therapy is an option. Cabal Therapy also works with the ajani and the tokens here, so maybe some Cabal Therapies, but maybe there's something better. Have a think. Yeah. But yeah, overall, happy with that. You got any ideas, let me know down in the comments. Like, subscribe as well. And see you next time.